What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Dana White reacts to Khamzat Chimaev versus Kamaru Usman fight. Recently, former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman casually positioned himself for a massive clash against Khamzat Chimaev. According to Usman, with a win over Chimaev, he would be right back in the mix for a title shot at 170 pounds, a title shot that he ideally would like to be against Leon Edwards, so he can handle his unfinished business. The fight between Usman and Chimaev practically booked itself, as the undefeated former Swedish national wrestling champion responded, mentioning that he would like to send Usman off into retirement. Meanwhile, fans were quickly chomping at the bit for the fight to be finalized sooner rather than later, given that the latest reports have Chimaev out of action until later this year in Abu Dhabi. During an appearance on the Jim Rome show, UFC President Dana White spoke about the situation, shooting down the idea of a catchweight fight.
No, because what I hate about that fight and calling him out, Usman's calling him out, but at a catchweight. I don't do catchweights. I don't like catchweights. Catchweights mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. If he wants to move up to 185 and fight him, we can talk about it. But trying to fight him at a catchweight, I'm not interested in.
From the sound of things, White has no interest in Chimaev moving down to welterweight again after the catastrophic UFC 279 weigh-in failure that contributed to the promotion reshuffling the pay-per-view card in the middle of fight week. In the wake of the fight falling apart, Chimaev has been linked to a middleweight move. According to reports, his next fight will likely be against Paulo Costa on the UFC's Abu Dhabi pay-per-view event towards the end of the year. Of course, Chimaev himself previously stated that ideally he would compete at middleweight over the summer before then competing for the welterweight title later this year in Abu Dhabi. Do you think a potential title eliminator fight with Kamaru Usman could be his path back to the welterweight division? Or will he wind up getting booked to fight Paulo Costa? Drop your predictions in the comments section below. Daniel Cormier weighs in on Jon Jones' retirement talk. Recently, UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones revealed in an interview that he was planning to retire after one final fight against former heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic. In a perfect world, Jones wants to compete at Madison Square Garden for his big send-off. At the same time, Jones admitted that the one fight he would stick around for is a clash with former heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, which is something that seems rather unlikely given how frustrated Dana White was after failed negotiations with the Predator. This week, UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier weighed in on Jones' looming retirement during an episode of DC and RC.
But for Jones, he's still the best in the world. And as you said, he was excited about the idea of going to fight at heavyweight. It was the challenge and something that scared him. But do you think that maybe it was easier than he may have thought? He got through Cyril Gane, so he's just like, where's that challenge, right? RC, like, where's that thing that scares me? Because that's what Jones spoke about before the fight. Being scared again, something that was dangerous, and maybe he doesn't feel that.
Considering the fact that Jones renegotiated the terms for the remaining fights on his contract prior to his return fight against Cyril Gane, many fans hoped he would continue to compete despite approaching the age of 36. Many fans have also been disappointed by the news, given that streaking contender Sergey Pavlovich is sitting as the presumptive #1 contender. Unfortunately, Jones just doesn't find himself excited about the potential matchup. UFC fight updates. This week, 4 fights were added to upcoming cards. Without further ado, let's jump right in. First up on the calendar, we have a clash between Jamie Mullarkey and Guram Kutateladze for June 3rd. The fight will see Mullarkey look to keep the momentum going amid a 2-fight win streak that recently saw him defeat Francisco Prado in February at UFC 284. On the flip side, Kutateladze will be looking to rebound from a June loss against Damir Ismagulov. Next up on the calendar, we have a June 24th fight between Trevor Peek and Victor Martinez. Peek will be entering the fight looking to preserve his undefeated 8-0 record, while Martinez will look to rebound from a February loss to Jordan Levitt. Coincidentally, this week also saw Jordan Levitt's next bout announced. His next fight will take place against Elvis Brenner on July 1st. Brenner will be entering the fight on a 3-bout win streak, while Levitt will look to build momentum on a February win over Victor Martinez. Last but certainly not least, we have a UFC 290 showdown on July 8th between Christian Rodriguez and Cameron Saman. Rodriguez will be entering the bout on a 2-fight win streak that recently saw him hand Raul Rosas Jr. his first professional loss. On the flip side, Saman will bring another undefeated record into the octagon that's also seen him go 2-0 since graduating from Dana White's Contender Series. Conor McGregor threatens Artem Lobov after big win in court. Conor McGregor is celebrating a big legal win over Manny Pacquiao this week that sees him awarded $5.1 million. The Irish superstar isn't simply enjoying the win, however. He's also using it as a cautionary tale for his former training partner turned rival Artem Lobov, who McGregor is also in the middle of battling in court. McGregor took to Twitter with a message regarding the win, while taking aim at Lobov, saying, "Manny owes 8 all in, 5.1 he owes, and then 2.9 in legal fees. Legal fees are heavy, but that's what we do, heavyweight operations. Rardem, you already owe me 2 rounds of court fees, awarded by the judge. There will be a judgment put on your home as this progresses, because I know you won't have my legal fees. I will have no choice but to take your home. You are a mad thing, lol. Silly C." Lobov is, of course, currently suing McGregor for millions over a verbal agreement regarding McGregor's proper number 12 Irish whiskey. As Aljamain Sterling continues to create his legacy and rise in the UFC, Henry Cejudo has the chance to stop him in his tracks. As the fighters get ready for Saturday's showdown, today's video sponsor, DraftKings, is bringing all the high-stakes action to all new customers. DraftKings is offering all new customers $150 in bonus bets if their pre-fight moneyline wager of $5 cashes. You heard me right. New customers that bet just $5 on any pre-fight moneyline will receive $150 in bonus bets if their bet hits. If you're wondering what you could use your bonus bets on, try out DraftKings Same Fight Parlays, where you can combine multiple bets from the same fight into one bigger bet for a shot at an even larger payout. If mobile sports betting isn't available in your state yet, don't worry. You can still get in on the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they offer cash prize contests for nearly every sport. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, and new customers who use promo code MMAZone before betting $5 on any pre-fight moneyline wager will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet hits. That's promo code MMAZone, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love, and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Dana White reacts to Conor McGregor's BKFC face-off with Mike Perry. Irish superstar Conor McGregor recently found himself on the receiving end of a call-out from UFC fighter turned BKFC star Mike Perry, following Platinum's recent win over Luke Rockhold. During his post-fight interview, Perry invited McGregor into the ring for a stare-down. The former 2-division champ happily obliged and entered the ring with a BKFC championship belt on his shoulder for a face-to-face. After the event, BKFC's David Feldman spoke about the viral moment Perry and McGregor created, admitting that he was happy to accept the free press from the clip as it circulated social media. On the other hand, many predicted that Dana White would be furious that McGregor was giving another company free promotion while under UFC contract. As it turns out, that isn't the case. During a recent interview with Barstool Sports, White said that he had no problem with the stare down and chalked the incident up to McGregor having fun.
Yeah, I think that that Conor went out and was having fun and got caught up in the moment. And, the dude called him in to the ring and, he did it. I also saw him pounding a bottle of Proper 12. I'm sure that probably had something to do with it too. But, listen, man, at the end of the day, Conor has done a lot here. He's made a lot of money. The guy's out having fun and, it's all good.
So far, no word yet on when McGregor will return to active competition. Sean O'Malley goes on the offensive in verbal spat with Henry Cejudo. After Henry Cejudo included Sean O'Malley on his hit list ahead of his UFC return this weekend, the bantamweight #1 contender has now gone on the offensive. With fight week underway for UFC 288, Sugar Sean has noticed a scar on the cheek of Cejudo. During a recent episode of his Bro Malley podcast, he weighed in on the cut Triple C sustained in training, saying,
Henry looks like he had a good camp. I know he had that big cut on his face.
Yeah, for a while.
So he must have forgot how to box. It's weird, the greatest combat sports athlete of all. He invented play fighting. He said that. He literally said that he invented play fighting. It's like shadow sparring.
He said
and
that?
And you know what is the funniest thing about it is his little ass probably believes it.
Of course, if there's any chance of the two fighting, Cejudo will have to get through Aljamain Sterling this weekend. Despite the animosity between he and the challenger, Sugar Sean is confident that Triple C will get the job done on Saturday night. The way he sees things, Cejudo will wind up outpacing the Funkmaster over the course of the fight, given how much weight Sterling cuts to make the 145-pound limit. How do you see the fight playing out? Drop your predictions in the comments section below. And now for a breaking news story of the day. We have Jorge Masvidal's father accused of second-degree murder and was arrested and released on $10,000 bond. It was reported yesterday that shots were fired at the home of Jorge Masvidal, and more details have come out today stating that the person arrested for the shooting was actually Jorge's father. Allegedly, Masvidal Sr. had an argument inside of his son's home, which led him to shoot a man named Luis Leoncini, who he was allegedly shot in both arms during the altercation. Now, both Jorge and his father are in legal trouble. This isn't a good start to Jorge's retirement. What do you think of this situation? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with MMA news every day. Here are the top comments from yesterday's video. The way Izzy chased after Alex, he should understand how that dude feels. No more repeats, there's plenty of contenders. I never watch Henry fight, but hearing some of his interviews, he seems like a cool guy. Definitely rooting for him. It'll be so poetic if Robert beats Izzy and Izzy tries pulling the 2-1 card. And those were the top comments from yesterday's video. If you want to be featured on our next video, make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to check out yesterday's video in case you missed it.